for a long, long time, and the guy and his wife who own it are finally putting it up for sale. And it sounds like they don't really want to, but they're getting on in years, and he wants to stay home and look after his wife, who they say has lingering health issues. And so he's Dave Tier is the guy who owns the hot dog diner there in Parma. It's right next to I've been there a couple of times, and I would always know. I didn't need to know where it was. I just knew it was right next to Planet of the Vapes.
There it is.
And you go in there to the hot dog diner. So, listen, I don't know who's going to buy it. I don't know how far along in the process they are, but you have to hope that whoever takes ownership of it keeps it intact. I guess the ultimate irony would be if it got turned back into a Taco Bell.
Cody, now's your opportunity. This can be the start of your Taco Bell franchise.
You're trying to get your franchise empire off the ground there with the Bell.
You've already got, looks like a Taco Bell.
Like the old school Taco Bell.
Old school.
Yeah.
Like the one they had in Lakewood
Yeah.
for a long time before they even refurbished that one.
Yeah, those are trendy, and I could have, like, you know, the little alcohol and the little disco ball. I'm down.
Now, you want it to be a cantina.
Well,
What?
yeah, I mean, times have changed. I want it to look retro, but be modern.
I understand. Or there might be zoning issues for a Taco Bell cantina. But you should look into it. Listen, I assume, because you wanted to get this Taco Bell thing off the ground for a while, I assume that you already have a group of investors who are ready to pull the trigger when you give them the high sign.
Yeah.
Well, his goal was always to do it after he gets a ton of money from
He wins the lottery.
either winning the lottery
Well,
or
first
a
things
divorce
first.
or
I mean,
something like that.
That's probably
So,
never going to happen.
yeah.
So it's
Divorce.
right.
That's my settlement.
He gets
Buy
paid
me
out in the
Taco
divorce.
Bell.
Right.
That's not a bad settlement. I'm like, you know, he's not just buying me fish. He's teaching me how to fish. You know, here, you can't take my money, but get your own.
Mr. Brown, you're contesting alimony? Yes, I would like a Taco Bell instead.
That's not bad. Judge be like, okay, I see you. Get your money.
How is getting a settlement in a divorce teaching you how to fish?
I said instead of just giving me money and,
But they're giving you, in your analogy, they're giving you the fish.
Listen, it's not a handout. It's
They're
just a
giving
hand.
him the fishing
It is a
pole.
handout.
They're-
It's literal.
It's just a hand.
As a
Give me
guy,
a hand.
as a guy who paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in alimony over the years,
just a
it is
small-
literally a handout.
No.
It's just a small seed loan of $1 million. It's not a big deal.
They
Right.
are giving him the fishing pole, the bait, the tackle, and teaching him how to use it. It's on him to go on his own. He's got all the equipment.
I'm a
Will he
self-made
fish?
man.
Yeah.
It was just a small $1 million loan from my father. Well, listen, the Tier family is not happy about having to do this. They put a big, long thing on Facebook to thank all their customers. I've been working since I was 10, he said, delivering the old Cleveland Press newspapers, but it's just time. Everything here is fresh. We don't buy the frozen crap, he said. We don't take frozen crap and thaw it out. You can always tell when you go to a restaurant and they have just microwaved your food, by the way. That's always a little disconcerting because in your brain, depending on what the item is, if it's something that they need to prepare and make and cook, you go, I'm not worried about that. But if it's like a side that they're probably doing in bulk, your brain knows that's what they're doing. But when it tastes like that is what they're doing. I remember when we first came to town and kind of getting our sea legs about what was going on around town, there used to be a restaurant right down here called Fat Fish Blue.
Yep.
It was god-awful. It was just terrible, terrible food. And everything tasted like they had just nuked it and brought it out to your table. And I think it's long gone now.
Yeah, because it's been a few different things since then.
It was the Tilted Kilt.
There was the paninis.
Yeah. I think it went back into something else. I don't know.
I think it was
they had like a Panini's
twice,
across
yeah.
from a Panini's or something.
Yeah. Here's the cooking show idea that I have. You mentioned microwaving things. That's the show. I want top chefs in the world, and the only way they can cook food is by microwaving it.
I'm gonna
Let's
win this.
see how good you really are. Yeah,
So
we'll put
it's-
them against people that are
Had to
just-
grow up
yeah, yeah.
making all their food in a microwave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great show idea.
Wait, so then
Poverty versus pros.
But then all you would need to know is how much, because time would be the only variable, not heat, not...
Well, no, because lots of microwaves have different settings.
Yeah.
Then you
Right,
could put
but
it at 50% power. You could put it on defrost. You could put it on this. You put it on for different times.
You hit
could,
baked potato
I
Yes.
see.
while you're
different
cooking a steak.
buttons.
Who knows?
Our
Different
microwave
rotations.
is basically a glorified popcorn popper. So it's okay.
Speaking
So
of-
you'd have to know what percentage of heat. You'd
Yeah.
have to know the time.
You'd have to be very good with the microwave.
I like
and I
this.
think
how
I
to
think it'd
turn
be-
it? You
Yeah.
got to turn it halfway through. Do you have to flip it? At what time do you flip it? Do you flip it again back?
Okay, but just to follow this through here, but wouldn't you'd be just warming up pre-made?
No,
foods?
no.
You
You're
have to
cooking.
cook your food.
You're cooking.
Make a hamburger.
No. Like not even just hamburger. Like you are cooking gourmet meals.
Chicken cordon bleu.
Like a fillet. They go, here's
Yeah.
an 8-ounce fillet. I want it medium well.
I want it to be restaurant quality, medium well, with a crust on it. Like they have to get very like
Creative.
creative. Yeah.
But would that be possible
I
with a
don't know,
microwave?
but that's
Okay.
what I want to
Figure it
find
out.
out.
Yeah.
I
Michael
think it'd be
Simon, where
interesting.
are you?
Yeah. Speaking of, I bought some. I had a craving for popcorn last night. My girlfriend and I are going.
Change the subject now.
Yes, I'd like to change. That's perfect. I love that so much. God, that's going to be good.
I'm gonna change the subject now.
That's so perfect.
That's the best drop we are ever going to have. I love that.
Oh, I'd like to change the subject now.
I'm gonna
And
change the subject now.
I bought some microwave popcorn, and I got it from Lucky's, which is more of like a health food store.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, oh, there's popcorn. It's microwave. They don't have the normal, they don't have Orville Redenbacher or Pop Secret or anything like that. They have all these
Bespoke popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim's
Organic.
local popcorn.
Even when it comes to microwave popcorn. So I get home and I open the box, and then it's got the popcorn, and then it's got the butter oil
Oh,
stuff,
no.
and then it's got this powder that you got to mix in.
Yep.
So you have to pop it and then pour in the oil and shake it up.
That's how my
And put the
dad made
powder-
popcorn.
Yeah, and
He
I'm
made
like-
it on the stove.
I'm like, but that's not what I want when I want microwave
Right.
popcorn. I don't want to go back in time. So I was so annoyed. My girlfriend's
It's
like,
not frontier
do
popcorn.
you want me
I'm
to
trying
go
make.
out and get you some more popcorn? I'm like, no, I'll make this popcorn. But we got to remember this brand just so we can never get
Never
it
again, right.
Because that was so annoying. Now, when it was all said and done, it was delicious, but it's not any better than like just having all the stuff in the bag. Like you don't need.
That's a lot
All
of
you're
work.
doing is making a lot more waste.
Right.
Like just put everything in the popcorn bag and it'll be fine. You don't have to make 3 other pouches so you're making popcorn. Oh, I was not happy with that popcorn.
So
brand.
Poundcake, with all that work that had to be done, what would you call that?
Huh? I don't have a name right off the top of my head.
Laborious?
Oh, this list of things that they had me doing. It is laborious.
You
And
want
I'm
a
like,
list of just the
I have a lot of
popcorn.
detest for this popcorn
Oh
brand.
my god.
Oh,
See,
boy.
I use it when I'm not supposed to, and then when I'm supposed to, I'm just like, oh, what word are you talking about?
Which one did I mess up? on?
Seems pretty labor intensive. Like a lot of work went into it.
I used it when we were living in the parking deck the other day. I was like, oh, I don't like walking up these stairs. It's very laborious. And they're like looking back at me like, okay, it's word of the day. But yeah, I completely forgot about it.
That's okay. So anyway, the hot dog diner is going away. They're in Parma, and they.
Oh, well, you're changing the subject, so
Oh, I'm sorry. I was.
I'm gonna change the subject now.
thank you.
Well, Alan, why don't you prove your loyalty to Cleveland and you buy it? Since you're a millionaire and you like hot dogs.
I'm not a millionaire. What do you mean my loyalty to Cleveland? This is Parma.
I mean, this, you know.
I don't have loyalty to Parma.
We have listeners in Parma. I'm saying
Sure.
to the greater Cleveland area, really ingratiate yourself 12 years in.
Well, maybe I
Put
will.
your roots down here.
13.
And buy
Maybe
it.
I will. Maybe I will.
What are
I'll
you
have
gonna
to get
call
my
it?
own. I'm not a millionaire, so I'd have to get my own investor group together. I would keep the name the Hot Dog Diner.
Would you serve ketchup? Would you serve Chicago dogs?
Well, Chicago dogs don't have ketchup on them.
But would you have
if some-
ketchup in-house?
Of
Okay.
course. Not everybody likes Chicago dogs. You don't like them?
No.
It would have to be for people who enjoyed those, and obviously that would be optional. He said that slinging 50-pound bags of potatoes gave him a hernia, and he temporarily had to use frozen taters for a while until he could get his strength back. Oh, Weird Al. Man. Yeah. Hey, Duke.
Hi, Alan.
I'm going to
Listen,
change
if
the
you open a
subject
hot
now.
dog,
What's going on, Duke?
if you open a hot dogs, I'll be there tomorrow.
Thank you, pal.
Hey, you like getting inaugurated, inebriated,
Take two.
investigated?
I like getting inebriated. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, and it has. I'm sure you've seen videos online of people coming out of having their wisdom teeth removed, where they're real goofy and sappy and making
They're
weird
hopped up on
questions.
goofballs. Yeah.
Well, my daughter works at the hospital, and she came across one of these guys the other day. He's coming out of surgery, and he's got a tube up his nose and a mask, and he motions her over, and he asked her if his testicles were black. And, well, she didn't think that had anything to do with it, but he was kind of, the look on his face, he was worried, so she lifted the sheet up and pulled it down back, and everything looked fine, and so she said, no, everything looks great. And another minute passed, and he again asked her, are my testicles black? And she, all right, I'll look again. And she takes the sheet off and the gown, and no, everything looks just fine, sir, she tells him. And a minute later, he finally reaches up and pulls the mask away, and he says, no, are my test results back?
Oh, Duke. Duke, are you inebriated by any chance?
I'm on my way, buddy. I am on my way.
Right. There you go. Okay. Thank you. There's Duke. He was there to get us away
I'm going
from
to change the subject now.
get us away from the hot dog commercial.
With bologna in my panties, got a hot dog. With bologna in my panties, got a hot dog. With bologna in my panties, got a hot dog. With bologna in my panties, got a hot dog.
All right. I'm going to play that every time somebody, some establishments will have the bell on the door that rings when a customer walks in. I'm going to play hot dog with bologna in my panties when somebody walks in. Anytime they walk into the hot dog diner. Order up, honey. Somebody's here. Can we?
My buddy made a video where someone made something called a bologna blossom, and it's just like chopped up bologna that's like fried and all of that. But he immediately said, bologna blossom sounds like something you say to your sweetheart. See that bologna blossom.
That's right. Show me your bologna blossom.
He says it in a southern accent, though, so it's more...
You show me your bologna blossom.
He's got more of a like gravelly southern accent.
Oh, okay.
It works.
Bologna blossom. Okay. Well, that's nice for you.
Tell us all about it.
You gals that... Alan, remember, nothing's permanent. Duke Jr. there. Yeah, Bill is a genius. I would watch the hell out of that microwave cooking show.
What are you going to call it?
I think I would, too.
I like yours as pros versus pores.
Poverty versus the pros.
Yeah, poverty versus
Pros and pores, yeah.
Pros and pores. Yeah.
I saw Joel McHale is hosting. Joel McHale is on a sitcom called Animal Control that I think is very funny. I like him in general, but I think it's a funny show. I don't know if anyone's watching it, but I like it. But he's also hosting some new cooking show called Crime Scene Kitchen, and I'm utterly vexed by the premise. Like, people have to go in because they've gone through all of the obvious premises for cooking shows, so now they really have to dig to come up with a new twist, and it's just demented. Best as I could guess is people have to walk into a room that's set up in a way where they have to guess where the cooked item is or something, and then they have to, I don't know, they have to replicate it, but it's called Crime Scene Kitchen, and Joel McHale, all 8 feet of him, is the host. Alan, all the people who would win that show would have been in prison.
The microwave
Do
show?
they have microwaves?
They know how to cook anything in a microwave, even bake cakes.
That's what I'm saying. You get a culinary expert versus someone who's been in prison, someone who grew up poor, someone,
There's the rapper Danny Brown was on a podcast. He was talking about some of the stuff that they made, and the way he was describing it was like, I actually kind of want to eat this food. Like,
yeah,
he was talking about some sort of like burrito type thing that they made,
toilet wine,
and it sounded awesome.
Yeah,
because whatever they can get their hands on in commissary, and then they get creative with it.
This pairs with a nice Jenkum.
Yeah.
A 2018. All the chefs are texting me now. Impossible with a microwave. Microwaving meat would be the same as boiling it. No crust.
Well, figure it out.
That's why you're not on the show.
You
We'll
get a
figure
lighter
it out. We'll figure it out. No, you can't use a lighter. You have to cook it with
to
a
get the
microwave.
crust. Or change out the plate
Mm-hmm.
that you cook it on. Put a stone in there or something.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Well, I mean, that's going to be difficult, though. Maybe you could put a stone in there because you can't use...
You can't use metal, but you
right.
could use glass or a
Yeah.
stone.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could microwave
Or a glass
rock,
stone.
Yeah.
right?
No,
Granite?
I'm not renaming the hot dog diner Cox and Wieners. I'm not doing that. I mean, this will play, though, every time somebody walks in, so... I mean, that could never possibly get old, could it?
Mm-mm.
I got to take a break. If you want $1,000, you only have about 5:30, whatever that is, 20 minutes from now, to get it. Another keyword courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie is on the way last week for you to win, so listen up for all those. And if you want to get to the Mushroom Head 30th anniversary and Halloween show at the Agora in October, I'll have those tickets for you after the break.
Every September, the biggest names in music take the stage at our iHeartRadio Music